Hi there, my name is Alan Lamont. I'm going to bring a message about the Knights Templars. Now, the reason why I'm bringing this is because I'm going to explain that the Knights Templars are at the heart of this conspiracy to rule the world, otherwise known today as the New World Order. Now, the Temple Church in London was consecrated on the 10th of February 1185 by Heraclius, who was the Patriarch of Jerusalem. And the church was actually the heart of the Templar site in London, but also for the entire Templar activity in the whole of Britain. And the Knights Templars really received great support and royal patronage from Henry II, who was present at the consecration of the Templar Church. Obviously, King Henry III favoured them so much that he wanted to be buried there. Even though there was a consecration on Ascension Day 1240, the king, however, was buried in Westminster Abbey. The actual Templar Church had what's known as the Master of the Temple in England. This was a real forerunner for the Grand Master of Masonry. For if you look at the structure of Freemasonry, even today, you will see that the highest Masonic degree, the very highest Masonic degree, is the Knights Templar. Now, this is for a reason, because the Templars were not destroyed. They were not destroyed, and they actually became the Jesuit order. They became the Jesuit order, and I'll explain this. I mean, if you go to in the middle or in a temple, you will see the sign of the Jesuit seal sunburst around the Pegasus. The Pegasus is a symbol for the Jesuits. That's one of their symbols, secret symbols, and the Templars had power over the whole banking system in Europe. They were the first actual international bankers, and obviously that was the reason why there was persecution against the Templars, and they eventually, defied royal orders, and they were persecuted. But they controlled the money, and they controlled the kings of Europe. And this system, as in the Templar system, is really the forerunner for the Jesuit order, for the Jesuits, the Society of Jesus. The London Temple was taken over by the monarchies of Britain and placed in the hands of the Knights Hospitalier, otherwise known as the Knights of Malta. The Knights of Malta really just kept it for the Templars, and a lot of the funding they actually received, in secret of course, to hold for the Templars. It is said that they were never restored. They were never abolished. They were never actually destroyed. The Jesuits today are the Knights Templars, and they run the city of London through what's known as the Inner and Middle Temple. Really, these are two colleges close to the chapel, and they continue to control the city of London today. It's in fact the Templars that rule over the monarchy of Britain. They use the crown as a cover. They always do that. They always use the crown. Obviously working through the Vatican Knighthood, the Order of the Garter, and high-level Freemasonry. That's how they control that. But really, what are the Templars today? Okay, well, they, as I've said, they are the masters of the temple of the two inns of court. And obviously on the 13th of August 1608, King James I granted a royal charter giving them the use of the temple in perpetuity. Obviously that is the two court of inns. They could continue to maintain their power, and this is the inns of court, obviously connected to the Temple Church, and they're still governed by that charter. I want to just talk right now about what's called the Honourable Society of the Inner Temple. You can go on Google and find this, the Honourable Society of the Inner Temple, and you will see immediately come up the white horse, okay, and you will see the Jesuit sunburst, and you will also see it is exactly the same because it is the Jesuit seal. If you look at the Jesuit seal, you see the spikes and the sunburst there. This is the Jesuit seal, indicating that the Jesuits really are the revived Knights Templars in the sense that they are still Templars. I really believe that that's the true conspiracy, that the Templars were not destroyed, they infiltrated Masonry, okay? They were there at the very foundation of the Jesuit order and created the Illuminati, and that's why they always connect the Illuminati to Masonry. And these honourable societies of the Inner Temple, Middle Temple, Linden's Inn and Gray's Inn, this is the real covert control over London. This is actually in control of the Crown. Now, the Crown is not the Templar structure here. That's the monarchy. That's the Crown corporation in a sense, as in the government of Britain. Okay, two different things, but it's a Jesuit Templar Crown. This message is for people that are digging into this conspiracy and researching it. So that's what must be exposed. And if you actually look even at the Church of the Holy Sepulchre, I brought a video out just recently about that, and how you see in front of Jesus Christ and you see above him the sunburst. Whenever you see the sunburst, that's the Templar sign. Also the Templar cross, the red cross of the Templars, you will see that on the Corporation City of London symbol and logo for the City of London, indicating the Temple Church is in direct control of the City of London. You also see it on the symbol of the Order of the Garter. You see the Templar cross once again, but the real power here is the Jesuit sunburst. That's the seal for the Jesuit order. The Society of Jesus is actually the Honourable Society of the Templar in a temple. This is the true conspiracy. This is the conspiracy. This is it. And I'll just talk a little bit about the Templars again. I mean, obviously, their area across the earth is obviously, you know, as in their foundation was Palestine, Jerusalem, you know, otherwise known today as the Pope's Latin Kingdom of Jerusalem. This is why you see the Jesuit sunburst right in front of Christ crucified at the Church of the Holy Sepulchre, because they are Knights of the Virgin Mary, but they're also Knights of the Sun. Let me explain that. The Knights of Babylon. They're Babylonian. This is why Freemasonry is Babylonian and Egyptian and Roman, okay? So this is the conspiracy. The Templars really created the Jesuit order. They are Templars. This is really what happens when you get to the real heart of this conspiracy here. And that's why there's so much real disinformation on the Templars. People talking about the Holy Grail, and you had a lot of Dan Brown's, you know, diversion. Why is this? It's because the Master of the Temple is actually the Jesuit Superior General. Okay? That's right, the Grand Master is actually one and the same, the Black Pope. You know, Hans Kolvenbach and Adolfo Nicholas, they are the two superior Jesuit generals. This is what happened. In order to, you know, protect themselves, in order to protect themselves from their annihilation, they obviously work with the papal bloodlines of Italy, and they work with the royal households and the Holy Roman Empire. They went underground, and they just merely created the Society of Jesus, otherwise known as the Jesuits today, and they also began to control the papacy, and they created the Illuminati as another Templar Jesuit organization whereby they can infiltrate governments and overthrow monarchies and royal houses that try to suppress the Templars, that try to destroy the Templars. This is what this is really all about. It's, you know, the Templars overthrowing monarchies that tried to destroy and oppress them. This is why the Jesuits were created. Ultimately, the purpose of the Jesuits was to create the Illuminati, and now you see the whole picture. Now you see it. Now you see it. And, you know, people don't really bring this conspiracy. They don't really reveal it in its fullness. They'll explain a part of it, and they'll lead off into different diversions here and diversion there, and people are just getting diverted everywhere when it comes to this. Uh, so, the Templars were not abolished and they're not to be restored. They actually are, ruling over the royal bloodlines, they're ruling over world Freemasonry. And as I've said, it's obvious. Just look at the signs and symbols, just look at them. Look at the symbol for the Crown Corporation of London. You'll see the Templar Red Cross. Look at the Order of the Garter, the Vatican knighthood presided over by the Queen, and you will see once again the Templar Cross. Look at the Knights of Malta, Templar Cross. Look at the Pope of Rome, what does he wear? Templar Cross. This is it. It's the Templars who infiltrated the Vatican through creating the Jesuit order. And once again, just look at the sunburst right there at the Court of Inns. Right? You see the Jesuit sunburst, ruling over their, honourable society of the Inner and Middle Temples. And it's this Pegasus Trust, that rules over this whole legal system across the earth. And America is still ruled over by, this military order. Because the Templars are a military order. They were never actually a Catholic organisation. If you look deep into the Templars, they were Babylonian. They were a Babylonian knighthood, committed to the Babylonian mystery schools. This is why the Jesuits, as soon as they were created their logo for what's called the, Jesuit order. And you see the IHS standing for Isis and Horus and Seb in Egypt. Otherwise going back to Nimrod and Semiramis. But that's a lot to cover and for another time. But if you actually look, they're identical. The Templars and the Jesuits are identical. Identical. The Jesuits were never Catholics. They were never Christian in any shape or form. They've always been committed to the Babylonian mysteries. Always. That's why they made the Vatican what it is today. The Vatican was always Babylon the Great, but what they'd done was they, worked through the Vatican to bring their crusades. Obviously, when the popes of Rome tried to suppress the Templars would poison the popes of Rome. And when the monarchies tried to overthrow the Jesuits, the Jesuit Templars would just overthrow that monarchies through the front organisation of the Illuminati, which is another Templar organisation. I know it's a lot to take in, but after the last few years of research, I've found the truth. I've found it. That's it. That's the truth. And so this is what's happening all across the earth. All of the wars are papal crusades waged by the Templars. And their ultimate purpose by creating the Jesuit order is ultimately to have, Jerusalem. And for the Black Pope to be the master of the third rebuilt Jewish temple, Solomon's rebuilt temple. And obviously this has been created today through the cover of Freemasonry, which governs the rabbis and governs Orthodox Judaism in Israel, preparing for the third Jewish temple. All along, people are looking at the Jesuits as being in control, and they are, but they are the Knights Templars. And even the Knights Templar Jesuits rule over the Knights Hospitaller, or otherwise known as the Knights of Malta. So it's this Vatican knighthood that rules the earth and the monarchies today. And obviously govern in London through their temple of the inner courts, the Inns of Court, And okay, I think that's a good place to stop now. My name's Alan Lamont, thanks for listening, and this is the true conspiracy. The Knights Templars became the Jesuits, and the Jesuits infiltrated and took over the Vatican, and from there they had complete power over the monarchies, and ultimately they used the Illuminati to bring the Napoleonic Revolution and the Russian Revolution, and obviously the Third Reich, and all of these wars even today are nothing but crusades of the Knights Templars who became the Jesuits. Okay, the Black Pope today, Adolfo Nicholas, is in fact master of the temple of the Knights Templar. Okay, thanks for listening. As always, all roads lead to Rome.